Rolex, Timex. I mean, we got Rolex and Timex. They sound so similar when you think about it. No one's ever put them back to back. Maybe I should make an episode comparing a Timex to a Rolex, because everyone loved the episode where I compared an Invicta to a Rolex. People got upset. But jokes aside, everyone knows I have a few Rolex watches, but due to the current economic climate, I'm thinking of changing to Timex, and for good reason. Timex rules. It is 2:46 p.m. Let's get down to business. Alright guys, so let's face it, for a while there, Timex was not really a watchmaker that watch collectors cared about at all. They were kind of this casual, dare I say, throwaway watch that you could find at Walmart or Target if you're fancy. Excuse me, Target. But to the, everyday watch collector, you didn't really pay much attention to Timex. But guys, something happened around 2019. Timex made a huge push to get more brand equity and to get more of the collectors paying attention to them. And this is really, really cool because Timex actually released a bunch of very interesting mechanical watches. Now here on Timex's website, we have pages worth of mechanical watches. Now, if you scroll quickly, you might get Orient Bambino vibes. And again, for good reason, because these kind of, let me see, what is this? The Marlin California dial. I'm a sucker for California dials. It's kind of a vintage aesthetic, dare I say, reissue of a everyday watch. Nowadays, we would consider this design a dress watch, but way back when, this was just a watch. $249, 40 millimeter, rose gold tone. Look at this really interesting domed crystal, very, very nice display case back. Is this the most complicated high-tech watch? No, absolutely not. But it's under $300 and it looks really nice and very vintage, which I'm a sucker for. If we go back to the page, we can see some more vintage-esque offerings, some more reissues. This M79 40 millimeter. I like this Batman blue and black, but if you don't like it, they have just a straight black with patinated indexes. There's something else that I really like about these watches. Not only are they affordable, not only are they mechanical, but they're not enormous. They're not ginormous. Timex didn't make these reissues to be 45 millimeters and up, which a lot of watchmakers do. They have heritage collections where they make reissue designs, but they bump up the case size. This is simple 40 millimeters, right within that sweet spot in my humble opinion. I dig it. And of course, we got those Snoopy Marlins that everyone likes. Ooh, we have some MLB. We got Yankees, Red Sox, go Sox, Dodgers, Cubs, some more Snoopies. I've actually never seen this one. The M79 with this kind of burgundy. Look at that. Sunburst. What is that? Brown? It's almost reminds me of the old school Clint Eastwood root beer Rolex, although not really. But if you're looking for something more modern, they have that too. They have these, what they call the Navi XLs. I think these are really cool. The only issue that I have is these are push-pull crowns, all right? Not terrible specs, 100 meter water resistance ratings, automatic movement. You do get a magnifier here. Display case back. I'm a really big sucker for this olive drab color in general, but on watches, I think it looks great. If they gave this a threaded crown, I think it'd be literally perfect. They didn't, kept costs down. I understand it, whatever. I'm also a big fan of these Waterbury dive watches, 40 millimeters, just a millimeter smaller than that Navi XL. But again, we're getting a green dial. Let's see, 100 meter water resistance rating. This looks super vintage, really interesting bezel, how it's kind of sloped there. Love that louvered cut, very interesting vintage indexes. These watches are really, really cool. And again, $279. You're not gonna break the bank. You could build a whole collection with Timex nowadays, an impressive collection. You could use, let's see, one of these Marlins every day. You could use one of the vintage this California dial as a dress watch, and then you could get a bunch of these Navi XLs and then the Waterbury as like, you know, your sports watch. And you would have a very solid collection. So we can see Timex has put in the work to give collectors what they want. Really interesting, really nice, very functional mechanical timepieces. But none of this matters to me. That's right, we spent a whole episode talking about how cool these mechanical watches are, and I don't care at all. Because in my humble opinion, the two best Timexes that were ever made use batteries. That's going to upset some people. The Timex Field Expedition Chronograph, Timex Expedition Field Chronograph, I don't know, it doesn't matter how you say the name. All you need to do is look at this watch, feel the watch, understand that the indiglow is when you push the crown in. I didn't know what indiglow was when I reviewed the watch, I apologize. That is one of the coolest field watches ever, and I got it for like $40 at the time on Amazon. I'll leave an affiliate link in the description below to this watch. If you click that link and you shop using that link, the channel does get a kickback. We really do appreciate it. But check out the review. We're gonna clip in some footage of it as I talk, but this is such a freaking cool skeletonized handset, very clear. A lot of information on the dial, not jumbled up and obscured though. Everything's very legible and visible. Really nice bordered date window. The case felt solid. It didn't feel like a toy, but it was, again, like well under $50. And I think you can still find it well under $50. It's just an insane watch. But again, it's quartz. And then there's a watch that I wear every single day. I'm actually wearing it right now. And, yeah, my Timex Ironman, battery powered. It's, very simple. I think I got it for like $30-something. And here's the deal. I love this Ironman. I love it more than most of my G-Shocks, but not for reasons that you may think. But you're going to have to wait until I make an episode dedicated to explaining that, so stay tuned. So now that we teased that future episode, I do want to say, I want to concede in a way. Timex has won me over, all right? When I first started this channel, I didn't really care about Timex. Then the more I learned about these watches, the more I realized this is really cool. And then once I started the channel in 2017. When 2019 hit and they started really making a push to give us what we want as collectors, I realized this is actually really impressive what Timex is doing. They've made a pivot, they've taken a risk, they've clearly invested a lot in their own business to give us mechanical watches, and they're paying attention to what the watch enthusiast wants. So you're not going to have to break the bank to build a collection, a really impressive, really interesting collection, just focusing on Timexes. And again, in my opinion, the best two Timexes aren't mechanical at all, so maybe this whole episode was just stupid. But guys, let me know what you think, because again, I'm just one dude and maybe I'm totally off base, but I think Timex is a watchmaker for the collector. And that says a lot, because there are some other very fancy schmancy big name watchmakers that have lost their way. All right, Timex maybe wasn't, you know, well respected amongst the educated watch collector, but Panerai definitely is, right? Well, it was. And so it's interesting to see Timex become, well within most watch collectors' good graces nowadays, and Panerai is just falling by the wayside because Panerai can't get their shit straight. Or like people like Tag Heuer. Heuer used to be like the coolest watchmaker ever that watch collectors coveted. Now Tag Heuer, kind of a joke in the watch collecting world, but Timex, boom, collectors love it, and we should, because Timex is awesome. So there you have it, guys. Leave me a comment. Let's argue in the comment section, because I know you're going to tell me I'm wrong anyway, especially with that Tag Heuer comment. That wasn't fair. Okay, I have a Tag Heuer Carrera from the 1990s, and it's a luxury watch. I don't care what you say, time teller. You're ugly and you need to shave your beard. I've heard it all before. I love you guys. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. And always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.
Yeah.